Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, race fans from around the globe. Welcome to the most electrifying, heart-pounding, tire-screeching spectacle in sim racing. Tonight we are live from the legendary Hockenheimring here in Germany, the track with more twists and turns than, well, your favorite thriller movie. My name is Sean Stam, and I am joined with the one, the only Nicholas Hall. Nick, how are you doing here on this beautiful evening?
I'm doing great. You know, it's always fun to get here to Hockenheim, a great track, a good technical track that should test these drivers in their skills in these GR86s. We've seen some great skills already from them earlier on in the season, but now this is really going to put it to the test as we get closer and closer to the end.
Going to be a quick 35-minute sprint today, and although we do have 100% fuel available to these drivers, who is going to just push the limits a little bit, as we have seen one too many times this season. So buckle up, grab your snacks, grab your beverage of choice, and make sure you're holding on to something, because this race is about to get wild. We got some live driver cams, and as qualifying is just now rounding up in about 30 seconds time, we might even get a pre-race interview with the one, the only Robert Schweckler, who's actually going to start P2 tonight. Bringing the race info up on the screen here. As you see, it's such a tricky track here. Nick, we were just going over the names of these turns. I don't know if I'll be using that too much tonight, but it's going to be a blast. Stick with us here on Stam Studio Network. Rounding out qualifying just now. Let's see who's going to put it on the pole, and I think nobody's going to beat that lap of Nathaniel Redmond. Is actually, well, looks like the sim is going to let these qualifying laps just now round up, so let's take a look here. This is going to be Tiago P. de Lima and Warren Johnson still out on track, and you see there on the left side, that is a 1:57.75 for Nathaniel J. Redmond. Super fast lap time.
Yeah, definitely a blitz around this track, and you can see it's pretty tight in these timings here among the top five, with Robert Schwenkler going only 0.29 after, then Colby in the 25 car, 0.57, and Lima at 0.76, and finally a second back will be Higgins. So honestly, that is a tight top five that we are going to have to keep our eyes on, as that is a little rough for Thiago Lima getting into the gravel there on your qualifying. Not what you want to see, as you lay down the fastest lap you can to see if you can't get just a little bit faster and maybe increase your starting position a little bit.
And we're going to try to use this new graphic. Robert and I have actually been trying to work pretty hard behind the scenes to see if this pops up here. This will be the points. Not Nope, still not popping up. So gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, unfortunately. And speaking of Thiago P. de Lima taking some curbs, he's sitting P2 overall on the points here. Stone Colby is up there in P1. Slater Colby is 3rd. Nico Colby 4th. Robert sitting there 5th. Jason Jin, Daniel Higgins, Warren Johnson, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, really a tight grouping again at the top between the 3 Colby brothers and Thiago Lima. So it really can be anybody's championship still. We just have to keep an eye on it, especially as this race goes on, to see if Thiago can maybe jump up into that first, or Stone Colby can hold on, as they are both starting decently far down. It seems like at least Thiago is going to be in 4th. I think Slater's probably just above them in 3rd when we look at this the starting lineup for this evening. We'll have to keep an eye on them. Typically, you know, they don't always qualify well, but they typically can, throughout the race, put themselves into a good points finishing. So always excited to see what happens during these races. Obviously, they're quick sprints in these cars, so you don't have a lot of room for error, especially on a track like the Hockenheim here.
As now we can finally bring up the starting grid. Here we go. Nathaniel Redmond mentioned it. It's going to be hard to beat his lap, and, well, that lap will stick on the pole. Robert Schweckler there, P2, Slater Colby, P3, Thiago P. de Lima, P4, Daniel Higgins, P5, Nico Colby, and Stone Colby, will be starting right beside one another in their Toyota GR86s. Got Jake Steckler here, Joe Rainey, Jason Jin, and Warren Johnson. And something that's really cool with Warren Johnson real quick is he actually was out doing some real life racing, and we got a little clip of that to show right before we kick this race off. This will get you in the mood for some racing. Check this out. There's his Toyota GR86. Drove it to the track, not on a trailer, actually was behind the wheel the whole way, and finally got out to that track. The live video now, I mean, that's just too cool. I mean, look at the suspension. We're going to see just that here tonight as these drivers try and take to the tough elevation changes here at Hockenheim.
Yeah, that is one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on, is what a beautiful safety car that was. Always loved the classic Porsche safety car, as all these drivers look like they're lined up and ready to go, just waiting to be able to get their tires up to temperature, get those brakes up to temperature as well. Anytime that you deal with any kind of elevation difference, your brakes are going to be of utmost importance. I don't know how many of you out there have seen the Gran Turismo movie, but when they talk about the brakes being glazed, that is a real issue, even in a sim like this, that you have to keep an eye on. If they get too hot, they do lose their braking efficiency, and especially also if they're too cold. And when they glaze, they get too hot, and you actually wear off more of that material. They're not as good, and as you saw, if you watched the movie or seen the clip, you have a higher susceptibility to crashing. So something to keep an eye on with these elevation changes is how their brake usage is going to be super important this evening.
Alrighty, that it is, Nick. That's funny that you bring that up. I haven't seen that movie yet, but I just did see that clip specifically, and you're right. It's totally a real thing. It's iRacing will simulate just about everything. Oh, we had a driver join in a little late on the cam, so gonna fix this real quick. But green flag is about to be in the hands of Nathaniel J. Redmond and Robert Schweckler here in Germany. This place actually has quite a bit of history to it here. Was, I think, destroyed by tanks back in World War II and had to get the track back up and running. But here we are today in 2025 in the sim world, beautiful world of iRacing. Nathaniel J. Redmond, here we go. Green flag is out and we are racing down into turn 1.
You see already some of these cars trying to swing wide down the start-finish straight. It's not a long one as you go from the Sud curve to the Nord curve. Definitely a short.
Oh no, already contact.
Wide and already turning and crashing as they go into around the Nord curve. Unfortunate there, as Redmond gets turned around, and now in last position is now Schwenkler has taken up that first position with Thiago Lima right behind, and then the trio of the Colby brothers going
Oh,
third through fifth.
I think that's Martin Frederick going around just a little bit further back in the pack. I'm going to have to get the replay button ready, but we're going to stick to live coverage here. I mean, look at this bump drafting going down the slight curve on the back straightaway here. Now this is Slater Colby looking to take away P2 from Thiago P. de Lima.
Yeah, it looks like Brooke a little early trying to make something happen. Couldn't quite finish that off, as now it's going to be...
Oh, no!
Thiago goes wide, gets a little bit too much of their gas, sends them sideways as they're going to drop, and that means all three Colby brothers now. Slater, I guess that's Colby, and then Nico sidling into second to fourth now on the tail of Robert Schwenkler.
We have seen this so many times this season, and we're only 4 races in, 5, excuse me there, but whichever. The triple Slater combo, or excuse me, triple Colby combo. This is going to be fun to watch as these guys try and reel in Robert here, and as things start to finally die down, we will take a look at all of those incidents that's happened before, but I think more importantly right now, Nick, these driver cams, because triple Colby action are live on the cams there. As Slater top left, Stone bottom left, and then Nico bottom right. So we're on board with Nico now.
You can see those wheels working, making sure to keep those cars in the position that they want. These cars can fight you if you aren't careful, so for them to be able to keep them steady, you can see Nico getting jostled around there in their little movement rig that we both talked about on several different streams that we've seen it. It's very important to hold these cars steady, rotate them, especially around some of these tighter turns that you have at the Hockenheim. The spitz here around turn 6 is one of these tight 180s that you really have to be careful on. As well as turn 12, you have to go from turn 11, the Mogul 1 curve, and kind of swing it back relatively quickly because you only have half of that start-finish straight to really then get your car to the outside to get across that apex easily. These are really hard rotations if you aren't used to them in these cars, and you just hope that these drivers put the practice in on this track because it's not an easy time at all. As it looks like we've thrown ourselves into a replay here, and Robert Schwenkler just goes into the front of Redmond
Nathaniel
there, and it just easily turns them.
Yep, that's basically what started the snowball effect here. And then looking at a quick replay of Ali Kassé, this is further in the back of the pack. So 2 separate incidents. Well, looking 3 wide here, and then I don't think that's going to work. Around goes Ali Kassé.
No,
that was a little bit later.
Too much speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had too much speed, and they just couldn't turn their car in time. So just unfortunate timing for them. And then
Daniel Parmalee back here. Oh, trying to make a dive bomb attempt. Almost makes it stick. I think he just ran wide. The software, software was telling me he wrecked, but no wreck there for Mr. Daniel Parmalee.
No wreck, but definitely ran very wide to get that car to stop and rotate. As they're getting a feel for the track, you can see they're trying to push these drivers. They're trying to push these cars to the absolute max to really see if they can make up any timing here, as there's still 30 minutes left in the race, and you might think, oh, that's plenty of time. You know, you want to try the safe race, but still, I mean, 30 minutes is not a lot of time, and you really do need to be pushing yourselves. It is a sprint, not a marathon, especially when you look at 100% fuel and things of that nature. You really do have to push these cars.
I think we're going to see quite a bit of that, especially out of Thiago P. de Lima. He is already back up to 6th place after his little incident earlier, but pretty impressive driving out of him. And then Daniel Parmalee fighting Daniel Higgins here into the tight, I believe that's turn number 6 here, the Hockenheimring. Like to shout out everybody here in YouTube land. I forgot to do it at the intro of the race here, but oh man, 64 of Daniel getting to the back bumper of Higgins. But once again, shouting you guys out as we couldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So yeah, we're seeing not some live chat yet, but now that I mention it, gonna have quite a few fans that flock in here. So the old the regulars on SSN, you'd call them. But speaking of regulars, Colby, the triple Colby action, 1, 2, 3, seen a couple times this season. It'd be pretty special if they actually finish 1, 2, 3, wouldn't it, Nick?
That would be quite the finish indeed. As now it's just up to them to run a nice clean race. They don't, I mean, between the three brothers, obviously they're gonna want to vie for first, but you would hope that they are a little bit more inclined to, you know, not at least accidentally dump one of the family members, because that would be very, very unfortunate. As I believe this is the Nord curve here as they're coming around across that start-finish straight. We saw the Mobile 1 curve earlier with the giant inflatable oil, I don't even know what it's called, bottle at this point, really. You got to get those in, you know? You got to get those in. But, I mean, this is such a beautiful track, and it has such a nice area around it. I always love, you know, getting the chance to visit within the sim racing world. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing to have this sim racing, right? Like, how many times can you say that you know, it used to be you would never be able to visit tracks like this unless you had money or were sponsored by a team that would send you or something. Nowadays, I mean, anybody can load this up and go racing around the world, and it's just such an awesome experience for us to be able to experience, and it always has me in awe.
Definitely. Not having to worry about real-life repairs as that reset button is free here within iRacing. Trying to give you just a bit more engine sounds here as I've tuned in, and hearing myself on what a 20-second delay is a little bit weird, but trying to get that fine-tuned in, so hang with us here and don't hesitate to let us know if we could fix anything there in the YouTube chat. But Daniel Parmalee going wide, that's going to present Warren Johnson to also go wide off the gravel. Man, what happened to Warren? I think I may have called that. I think he got gravel on the tires and then, oh, that's a little bit late here.
We get a little bit of a rewind going here for all of you ladies and gentlemen out in the YouTube lands. As a little bit of a tap goes wide there. You can see Warren going wide, but nothing too crazy just yet. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happened. They're looking for a look at the inside, deciding against it, not having enough speed nor time, but they're holding a lot of speed through there. Looking good. A little loose. You can see the car bounce a little.
Yeah, the suspension working in these Toyota GR86s is... Okay, we're just going to hit the rewind, Nick. You called it best here. It's probably about to happen, but yep, self-induced spin.
You can see he loses the back end.
Keeps the car going straight, though, and out of the wall, so no harm, no foul, except pace-wise for that number 24 machine.
Yeah, it was just a slight... They lost the back end. Just you saw it slide just slightly because they took a little too much speed through, and once you clip that gravel, it's just going to take you when you have that kind of speed and you lose traction. So unfortunate for them is Stone Colby in the lead, having to fend off his two brothers in Slater and Nico. Doing a good job of it so far, though, as they did take first from their brother.
And look, Tiago is right back up here in this battle for the lead. How has that happened? Oh my goodness gracious. What pace out of Tiago
past Nico there. Look at all the gravel that's sitting on the track now. That's going to pose a problem the later on that we get.
Oh, you see it just littered there, and the racing line is kind of formed a little bit, but I don't know if it's formed up just enough. Oh, now we're looking side by side with Nathaniel as well as Caleb Greco. Caleb making that thing stick on the inside, but gonna run wide. Here comes Nathaniel Redmond to the inside. He'll make that pass for P number 9.
Yeah, looking good so far. Good pass by Redmond.
Tiago has moved up another spot, Nick. Let's take
That
a
is
look
one
and
thing.
see how it
Tiago
happened.
is such an excellent driver. It's always a pleasure to watch them race, as they just had a really good line coming out, and then that's good defensive driving there from that line.
Oh my goodness gracious.
They're looking for their pilot. Are we keeping track of pilots' licenses tonight here, Sean?
Oh, we might start have to because the way these Toyota GR86s handle these sausage curves, my goodness, here comes big Tiago P. de Lima to the outside. Not enough grip out there. He will retain P2 for the moment, but Colby boys, watch out. Tiago P. de Lima, he's got the pace. He is, a matter of fact, side by side for the lead.
Has the inside line, should be able to hold first here, at least for a little bit, as they're going to swing back. You can see that's going in, that's out of the mobile one, around turn 12, going into turn 13 here. Able to hold on to it just barely, but losing a lot of traction there, going over all those bumps and curves.
Now,
able to hold on.
What a drive. We saw Tiago P. de Lima going wide.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. That will throw up some gravel up on the nose of Stone Colby, who will now run wide. Slater Colby to the inside of Stone. Now Nico right to the back of this battle. Still side by side for the Colby brothers here. Oh, more curb.
Okay,
that's going to be too much.
That is why you don't take curbs. He almost takes out his brother at the same time.
Getting it off the racing line. Okay, now Tiago, he can take a breath. I think we can all take a breath, but except for Jason Jin, Daniel Higgins, this battle continues to rage on down the front straightaway here. Oh, the curb use is insane.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have wheels. We don't have joysticks of that nature. If you want to go play a flight simulator, I know Microsoft Flight Simulator is an excellent choice, but I'm pretty sure we're here to race, not go for pilot's licenses. I mean, this has been like 3 or 4 cars in a row that have almost lost it because of taking a little too much curve there. And you can see Nico had to do some very fancy evasive driving to avoid his brother even.
It is getting down to the nitty-gritty. 22 minutes to go here from Hockenheimring in Germany. Goodness gracious, I think you mentioned it earlier a little bit, Nick, but these drivers are starting to abuse the car, abuse the track to its limit, and we've seen just here recently 4 or 5 drivers overstepping that boundary, and what was a amazing battle for the lead has now started to kind of simmer down just a little bit. How about Daniel Higgins? Runs this scheme every week here in the Toyota GR86. The Dynaco number 95. He's up to P8 right now.
Yeah, looking good. Having a good, strong race here.
Oh my days!
Number 8 is another go around, this time for Robert Schwenkler, who was having a decent race after losing it. Just once again, lost it. Unfortunate for them, as that means Colby is going to take that 8th position, looking to work their way back up into the top 5 when they were racing for first.
I almost gave old Daniel Higgins the Sean and Tater curse there, because right as I was praising him for his good day, as we'll take a look and see what happened to Robert here, and then we'll hop on board with Daniel and see what his view was coming through this. All right, there's the contact to get him around, and here comes Daniel. Oh, thankfully he spun the other way to the right side of the track, but that's a pretty big situation there in the cockpit of the car, especially going as fast as these cars go for a car that's fairly light. Quite a bit of power packed in this little machine.
Yeah, I mean, just because these are some of the cars that you can get, I mean, it's still, you gotta have practice in these, and they do pack a punch if you aren't careful, so this is why you practice the tracks. I mean, these are some of the best drivers with these cars, and even then, it's still a rough time. So you can see Tiago's doing a great job here with one of the Colby brothers on the back. I believe it's Slater. I'm still, it's like every time they have slightly different variations of their paints. It's like, which one is which here? but it's currently Slater in second.
Oh, there he
Nico
goes to
is in
front.
fourth. What a beautiful run through.
He
And
just took straight
good
advantage of
exit.
Tiago's mistake there. What a move.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Check it out, Tiago
Tiago
running
goes
wide.
a little wide, and you just go right through.
Don't count
Smooth
Tiago
and
out, though.
steady. Oh, never. Tiago's going to be right back up on his tailpipe here in just a few seconds, but smooth and steady is how you want to do these races. Less than 20 minutes to go now as we tick into the 19th minute left, and it is still anybody's race.
Seeing that track map on the right side of the screen, just mini battles all up and down throughout the track. I think out of most road racing leagues I do, this is got to be one of the cleanest, as well as, oh my gosh, as well as has the closest battles throughout the track, as we're, like you said, just now ticking into the 19th, 18th minute battles all up and down the track. We'll go down here to, oh, Daniel Parmalee, I think, just had an incident, went off track. I was about to cut to him, but I think damage is off here today, so any damage that would have incurred from that opening incident or anything that's happened to you here today, stick with us here on track, because no aero damage will ensue. The toe links will magically repair themselves. And, it's once again just a product of sim racing that has those options to turn on. And here comes Jake Steckler trying to hold off that outside of Nico Colby, but Nico's going to make that move.
Nice and easy move as Nico is up into third position now, trying to catch Thiago Lima. With a 5-second gap, it's going to take them a while to get there, as Slater and Thiago, they have quite the pace on them this evening.
That they do, and it'll be interesting to talk to our top three, because, well, if you're new here on SSN, we will get those top three drivers interviewed. So Slater, Thiago, Nico, hopefully going to keep it up, but this track is so tough. These drivers got to be sweating. It's so mentally as well as physically demanding. It's pretty hard to put in perspective on even a 35-minute sprint race, how much it can take out of you, especially in the sim racing world. But that's just once again praising iRacing. If you don't have a membership just yet, make sure you grab yourself one. It's some of the most fun you can have on a PC without actually getting there on the track. So pretty fun times here in Hockenheimring, Germany.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a good time when we visit Hockenheim. There's another two looking for their pilot's license, going 2 crosses. I mean, I need to start just having a tick counter with every racer, you know, and I just have to know them and just start putting ticks down. Once you get so many ticks, we start handing out pilot's licenses, because,
That's
man,
too good. That
this
is
is
not a bad
crazy.
idea at all. This is this battle up for P4. Jake Steckler trying to hold off Nathaniel J. Redmond as he has worked his way back up through the pack. And we got Daniel Higgins. He's now up to P6, right on the back bumper of this little gaggle of cars for third, fourth, fifth, excuse me. Oh, you gotta set up the exit here. One of the most, if not the most important exits of the track. And, well, we got Jake Steckler now losing the spot to Nathaniel J. Redmond.
Yeah, I mean, just a great race by Redmond after, you know, having to recover in last position. They're making a comeback here into 4th position, right behind Nico, just on the hunt, trying to regain what they've lost here, and they're doing an absolutely lovely job of it so far, as Nico has about a 3-car gap to Redmond. But Nico's also losing time to Thiago and Slater, so that is something to keep in mind, as well as they just keep inching themselves farther and farther ahead as they go a little wide for Nico, and that means Redmond's going to have an opportunity to get up on their tailpipe and maybe be able to have a look up the inside here in just another lap or two, depending on how they go, but definitely putting the pressure on Nico now.
So we're hopping on board with Nathaniel here. This is going to be diving into the tough braking zone. I believe that's turn one, and more sausage curb usage. You have to start putting some mustard on these sausages. Is now Nathaniel J. Redmond getting the run down the outside. Does he have what it takes to make it stick? Let's see here. No, not just yet, as almost loses the spot back to Jake Steckler. And we got Daniel Higgins now side by side with Jake.
Yeah, looking good here. We have a battle really for third right now brewing between 4 cars here, from Nico Colby all the way down to Robert Steckler. Great looks from all of these drivers here as they've gotten more and more comfortable with this track itself. As there it is, Redmond has overtaken Nico, and it's a very clean overtake. Just able to slot themselves right in front of Nico there.
That's going to present Redmond now to P3, that interview spot. But here, Nico Colby, oh my gosh, he is playing with Nathaniel there on the entry of the corner. Does not shove it down the entry just yet, but man, Nico, we're going to have to keep our eyes on this battle, because what pace he's got. I don't know how he's not motion sick in that motion rig at this point with that curb usage. And that is Nico on the bottom right of your screen, folks. Oh, Nico going wide now. Gets it back on track.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough, especially, I mean, these motion rigs definitely add a layer of immersiveness to the experience, but also a level of challenge as well.
No kidding.
As, you have to then be used to being thrown around a little bit, holding steady, making sure that you're sticking on your line. So props to Nico for doing that. As it is a much more difficult racing experience than you might think.
Daniel Higgins, I know we always praise the old Colby trio here in the driver cast, but Daniel Higgins, appreciate you for having your camera up here as the season continues to progress in your Dynaco number 95 machine, having a good run, sitting P6 at the moment, and with just over 10 minutes to go, there's enough time. Daniel Higgins can get right in this battle. Matter of fact, he is there on Steckler and Colby's back bumper for 4th. But man, the pace we've seen out of our leader, Slater Colby, Tiago P. de Lima, P2, and Nathaniel J. Redmond, I think it might be a little bit tough to catch our front trio, or really front battle for the lead here between the front two.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a battle for third at this point, as Slater and Tiago have really run away with 1 and 2, as these two are in a fight of their own, and it's not slowing them down like it normally would. They've just been really laying rubber down on this track and showing what these cars are capable of.
We're now approaching the stadium section of the track once again. Our closest battle on track between Steckler and Higgins continues, but the more important battle, this is up for the lead. Slater Colby, Tiago P. de Lima. Oh boy, I think Tiago is just better in this section of the track. Slater Colby has those exits, compromises the entries just a little bit, and here we see it once again down the start-finish straight. Look for Slater Colby to make it just a little bit more of a gap. Well, I say, yeah, that's less than what it was, but my goodness, they're almost bump drafting here coming down that start-finish straight. Tiago P. de Lima, he is being smart with that sausage curb usage. I like it because we have seen that sausage curb take a chomp out of many drivers here tonight. Keeping it clean here up in front as we are side by side a bit further in the back of the pack, but we'll get you replays. Stick with us here on SSN. This Sean Stam, Nicholas Hall up in the booth bringing you action, shouting out YouTube chat because we could not be doing this without you guys. This is 86 Challenge coming at you live from Hockenheimring, Germany, as Tiago P. de Lima. Oh, he was looking down the inside, possibly just making Slater look in that mirror.
Yeah, I mean, Tiago's putting pressure on Slater, but it's not quite enough yet. Slater doing an excellent job of playing defense while still not slowing down at all. What happens a lot of times when you're playing defense in racing is it slows you down, which means other cars are then able to catch up. And as you can see here, Nico Colby, Redmond, Stegler, Higgins, they've all still been pulled away from. Redmond now has some clean air for themselves, as you can see them whip around that corner as we go through the Sud curve with the leaders. And now here comes Redmond going through the Sud curve. It's still just one of these moments, or I'm sorry, that's the Mobile 1 curve, excuse me. They kind of blend together after a little bit, but I mean, still, like,
No kidding.
when you have these gaps like this, it's very, very rare, and it's such a delight to see that Slater Colby and Thiago Lima, it does not slow them down. They're still able to put so much rubber down on this track. As you can see, Nico has dropped another down into 5th position, about to lose it potentially into 6th to the 95 car of Higgins, and he does. Higgins secures the move into 5th position. Nico Colby slides in behind him, seeing if they can't grab a little bit of a draft coming into this corner, coming out of the Nord curve? Let me make sure I get that one right. I know it's Sud, and it's Nord curve. Nord curve.
There you go.
It's fun with different languages.
Oh yeah, that's why I haven't even. I'll stick with the old numbers, but man, how about Daniel Higgins? I think Nico Colby has just burnt his tires off of this Toyota GR86.
Yeah. You can see his brother's right behind him as well, but it seems like, yeah, the tires are almost gone. He's not able to lay down the lap times like he was, and the car's a little bit more squirrely on him. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see how that does. We only have 8 minutes left to go in this 86 challenge race here at the Hockenheimring. 16 turns with about a minute apiece, or 2 minutes a lap. You're not looking, you only have about 4 laps remaining to secure your moves and secure your position for your points finish, and to move yourself up on that leaderboard. As we almost go 3 wide through that turn, with Nico Colby able to hold their position just barely against their brother, also fighting for the position against Schwenkler there.
Oh boy, that was pretty close. I don't think he can get closer than that in these Toyota GR86s. We have Stone Colby looking down the inside of Nico Colby. Nico running wide on exit, drifting it around the track, able to somehow make it stick there for P8, but once again, I think the tires burnt off of Nico Colby machine, as this is once again our battle for the lead back up front. Slater Colby has now, well, he's gonna have to hold off Thiago once again, as this is looking down into the heavy braking zone. Right-hander, Thiago closes the gap. He is there on the back bumper, not close enough to make a move just yet.
It's getting closer and closer between these two cars, and honestly, this is exactly what you want out of a race if you're a racing fan. You want wheel-to-wheel, bumper-to-bumper action between your two leaders here. You don't want just one person running away with it. You don't want a Mercedes run away like we've seen in the past years of F1, or a Red Bull run away where you know a quarter of the way through the season who's going to win. Right here, right now, it could be Slater, it could be Thiago, we don't know. And with only 6 minutes remaining, that means 3 laps to go, maybe 4, depending on the exact timing of things. And Thiago has had such a run in some of these corners that it has been nothing but miracles and excellent, great defensive driving from Slater Colby that has held Thiago at bay and kept them in second.
Excellent driving up and down the pack, but as we focus on this battle for the lead, Nick, I don't think you could have said that any better, and we'll take a look at the lap time history between these two front runners. That is Slater Colby. Could he be looking at a back-to-back win, as, oh, he is actually slower than Thiago P. de Lima, except for on lap 13. Lap 14, it's damn near the same, so, oh boy, and then comparing Thiago to Nathaniel P. de Redmond, but man, this battle, you couldn't script it better than this. NFL, take notes, because this is what racing is about. You cannot... You can't really guess what's going to happen. you could try to throw some money on Tiago P. de Lima, even after spinning out, coming back, gaining so many positions. We still have Slater Colby out here up front, able to hold off the hard charging number 86, GR86 of Tiago P. de Lima.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking absolutely wonderful up front, and you can see it's less than a tenth of a second. We're talking hundredths of seconds between these two cars to determine who is going to be first place, as Tiago gets a run here alongside Colby, but it's not going to happen as they break early, trying to make sure that they get to the outside for this turn to make sure they hit that apex, as that is one of the hairpins of this race as they go here, the 6th turn of the Hockenheim circuit. I mean, one of the tightest turns I've seen in racing.
Speaking of tight turns, tight battling here. This is, well, that was Slater Colby, Tiago P. de Lima going at it. This is Daniel Higgins back in front of Jake Steckler here, but not for long. This is side by side into, I believe is, yes, another left-hander. Is contact between the two drivers, but we're going to keep them going straight. Excellent, excellent racing and racecraft between these two drivers. Daniel Higgins solidifies P4 for the moment. Jake Steckler right there with them. So is Robert. He's worked his way back up to P6. Amazing run for all of these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, all of these drivers, say we've had a big focus on Slater and Tiago, but I mean, look at the run of Higgins up into 4th position, starting way far back in the teens and having an excellent race. I mean, Robert Schwenkler, who got turned around after being top 5, is currently back into the 5th position. Redmond here, who started first, got turned accidentally by Schwenkler, is now up into 3rd and having an excellent race for themselves. Up and down the track tonight, everyone has been having an awesome race here as they get going here. As we take a look at Robert Schwenkler as they come into
diving down the
here.
inside of Higgins. Does he have what it takes to make it stick, or just Higgins running a little wide on exit? But oh my, I thought that could have presented an incident there, but Higgins keeping up P4. He has gained a spot since the start, and this battle for P5 has not gone away for the past, 10-15 minutes here from the Hockenheimring in Germany. This is Robert Schwenkler, Jake Steckler, Stone Colby, Nico Colby in this whole gaggle of cars. As Jake now tries to look down the inside of Robert, and then Stone sticks his nose up in there too. Slater Colby is still up out front, 3/10 in front of Tiago P. de Lima. I mean, Nick, have you ever seen this clean of racing this close together for this long of a duration of time?
No, I haven't. This is an absolutely just great time to watch. I mean, if you're just tuning in now, it has been like this the entire race, and with only 1:30 left, 90 seconds to go till we see that checkered flag, and it is tighter than ever at the front. From 3rd, Nathan Redmond pretty much has that locked down, but when you look at 4th through 7th through 8th even, there's less than a second between them. I mean, it is tighter than ever, and look at the two going down the front straight here. I mean, they're going into the Nord curve.
The white flag, shouldn't it?
So close. I think they might. I don't know why it's not yet.
Yeah, the graphic should be showing white flag as Tiago has waited. Oh, he's waited this whole time, and now he has gone wide. Slater Colby back out to the lead.
A little too much on that dive bomb, unfortunately, knowing this is probably one of their last chances to make it happen. And it was a good try by Tiago, just not quite slow enough to get that car rotated around, as it looks like Schwenkler has finally completed their move onto Higgins in that 95, and that means Higgins is going to drop to 5th. That's Stone Colby up into 6th, Steckler in 7th, and Nico Colby in 8th position, with Jin in 9th. I mean, just ever so tight. As you can see, this battle for 4th has so many cars in it.
Daniel Higgins whipping to the outside. Oh my gosh, contact. That is Nico Colby going around. Is that Jason Jin involved?
That's yep. Nico, yeah. That's Nico getting turned around, unfortunately.
All right, this battle will continue as Slater Colby will take us to 000 on the clock. He will make this thing official here from the Hockenheimring in Germany. Tiago P. de Lima, he had waited and waited and waited for the clock and the time to run down, but he's just about out of opportunities and chances as this battle between Daniel Higgins. It's these guys around the corner here, side by side, coming out of the corner. You got Robert Schwickler on the inside, makes the pass once again. Stick on Daniel Higgins will keep P for the moment, and well, with this much whipping around, the graphic says white flag, but nah, this has got to be checkered. Congratulations, Slater Colby. You have conquered Hockenheimring, the old double. That is a back-to-back win for Slater. Tiago P. de Lima going around there. Nathaniel J. Redmond, excuse me, P3. Robert Schweckler. Daniel Higgins, P4 and 5. Jake Steckler. Nico Colby going to take this thing home, P7. Stone Colby, P8. Jason Jin, P9, Joe Rainey, Caleb Greco, 10th, 11th, 12th, Warren, excuse me, Ali Kassay, P13, Martin Frederick Austin, 14th, Jason Holcomb, 15th, Daniel Parmalee, 16th, Christopher Gartland, 17th, and Austin Rapp, P18. Stick with us here on STAM Studio Network. We are going to take a quick commercial break and bring you those top 3 interviews. Oh my gosh. Okay, I wanted to, before we cut to commercial, I wanted to see how that played out. All right, here we go. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Hockenheimring in Germany, where we have the top 3 driver interviews going to happen for you, and we'll start with Nathaniel J. Redmond. Nathan, you got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Oh boy, what a turn of events! How the turns have tabled as I don't know, put that one on a t-shirt. But regardless, congratulations on your P3 here tonight. Walk us through it. How was it trying to get a handle on this GR86 around Hockenheim?
It started out interesting. So corner 1, kind of got forced 3 wide, and I immediately got put to the back of the pack. So I kind of spent the whole race playing catch up. Had to go through a lot of little battles, but I made it. So happy I made it. Unfortunate that I got put 3 wide in the first corner and I kind of got killed, but looks like they had a good race up front, so congrats to them. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So we take a look at that replay now. Kind of walk us through it. Yep, we're looking at your middle of the screen, white car, and it looks
yeah, I assume I didn't turn in enough because I was leaving. I don't know if that's Nico Slater, who that is to my right. I was trying to leave him room, and I think that was
me. I was trying to leave you room.
Yeah.
Really
So-
trying to leave everybody room.
Yeah, I got killed. So I ended up in the back here, and then I spent the rest of my time just fighting as much as I could.
Well, thanks for taking some time to get a quick word in with us. Is there anybody that you'd like to shout out that makes it possible for you to come out and race these Toyota GR86s as well as that multi-class series with us?
Nope, not today. Just shout out Warren for hosting it. Had a great time, and thanks for having me.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Daniel, thank you for your time. Moving up to Tiago P. De Lima, where I'm going to give Nick the honors.
Welcome, Tiago. Really, I want to talk about that final. I think it was the Nord curve where you did a dive bomb, or maybe it was it was the hairpin. You dive bombed Slater, and it didn't just quite work out for you. So that really felt like a culmination of like the entire race, from like a quarter of the way into the final turns that between you and Slater. That constant battle. You want to walk us through your thought process throughout the race as you kept trying to look for openings between you and Slater?
Well, as you said, right, I self-spun on lap 1, then I had to pedal back, and of course I had to wear my tires to do that. So once I caught back to Slate, I was just like pacing myself, because I mean, I know you couldn't stay better in the whole race, so I had one chance, and I tried that in the last lap. It wasn't in a really good spot, so I lost the braking point and completely like overshot the turn. So yeah, I think that at this moment, and then Slater took the position back, but I mean, overall it was a really good racing, very close racing, and fighting back for all the positions to get back to the front was really good as well.
Absolutely, it was. It was a great race for everybody around. What a pleasure to watch. Do you have any shout-outs before we move on?
Of course, I would like to shout out to Warren as always for holding the league.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll send it back to you, Sean, to follow up with Slater.
Slater, Colby, you in here? You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations once again. You're going back to back. I mean, walk us through it. That was an exciting, interesting turn one, and kind of ran away with it from then. Had to hold off the hard charging Tiago working his way up through the pack. Oh,
Yeah, we were. Honestly, I started P3 and it kind of got carnage in the beginning, and then I put myself in second, and I accidentally clipped Robert going into one of the corners. I just broke late, and I kind of tried to commit to the pass there, but then I backed out of it and he turned in, and I clipped his rear bumper. So if he's watching this, I want to apologize, but kind of just tried to put consistent laps in after that. And I didn't know where Tiago was because I knew he spun out, so I figured he's going to be pretty far back there. And then all of us were talking, and they were like, "Oh, here comes Tiago. He's already in fourth." And I was like, "Uh-oh." So I kind of had to just start sprinting, and then he came up, and me and Stone were kind of going back and forth, and he unfortunately had to spin out, and that's when Tiago capitalized and kind of got in front of me. And then I don't know, we just kind of diced back and forth from there, and then I got around him, and I could tell Tiago was kind of trying to favor his tires a little bit, but then last lap I knew he was going to take a dive somewhere, and I was able to capitalize on that and then pull it off. So
Well, congratulations once again. I know you got some sponsors you'd like to thank, some family members. Man, go ahead. This is starting to become a regular occurrence here.
yeah, I'd like to thank Warren obviously for putting this on. I mean, he's built this thing from day one, and we've all tried to add some people in here and stuff, and he's made it to like this this legit thing. So all this wouldn't be possible without him. And then we got all my family and friends and co-workers and stuff always watching every Mondays and Thursdays, and they're always having a good time watching. And then obviously Overstock Vehicles and Valley Car Group, if you need to buy or sell your car, vehicle buyer, sorry, come see us and we'll help you out.
Alrighty, appreciate that, and that's so cool. You got some coworkers watching you as well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Alrighty, I think we're going to move on to Warren Johnson. We got him there in the chat before we catch our plane ride home. Warren, walk us through your race here today. What was it like trying to get a handle on the GR86 around Hockenheimring?
Well, if anyone was watching the stream, you could tell it didn't go very well. It was very hard to get a handle on this track and this car. I don't know. I think it might have been the setup. I don't know. I touched the gravel a few times, and it seemed like everybody was going to that gravel right before that last sec. I can't remember the turn number, but yeah, it was a rough one for me today. I had a good maybe last 5-6 laps. It felt smooth, and the car finally started to be planted, and just I could drive again, I guess. But it's okay. Hey, I think it was a good race overall, and I'm excited for the next one.
That will be so much fun there in the next Monday night race at Phillip Island. I believe Thursday is... Where are we going to be at for multi-class Thursday night?
Mid Ohio.
Oh yes, one of the favorites. Yes. There we go.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, but yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out, everybody for racing. You guys always thank me, like I say, but it's not possible without everybody else here, and I really appreciate all the kind words from everybody. Thank you, Sean, for putting on a good broadcast, and Nick, thank you for being here. Definitely my favorite co-host out of the ones. So you guys do a great job. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. Thanks for watching the stream, whoever's watching, and can't wait to see you guys on Thursday.
Appreciate that, Warren. And before we get going, this was, I believe, last night or 2 nights ago. We had a whole bar in Florida playing my broadcast on like 3-4 different screens. That's Playful Pint Sports Bar. So they're not sponsored me. I'm not sponsored by them, but that's cool. What, 4 or 5 states over. You get a whole bar of people watching your race, calling your buddies, telling them how good they're doing. So it's pretty cool. Shout out Playful Pint Sports Bar. They're down in Florida. And Warren Johnson, 86 Challenge League. This has been so much fun. Nicholas Hall, Sean Stam up in the booth. Be sure to join us Thursday night, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Thank you once again, and have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, guys.